What's going on, guys? It's Jordan back today with today's first video. And in today's first video, we're going to take a look at Cardano and see what it's doing on the long term, the medium term, and the short term time frame to see if we can have any clues to see what it's going to do within the next couple weeks. So if that sounds good to you guys and you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys smack that subscribe button down below. It means the world to me and I appreciate every single one of you guys. So let's jump right on into the long-term time frame to start. You know, we usually look at the short term first, but let's look at the weekly because this is what really matters in Cardano. It's really going to set our foundation of what we're going to look at further in this video. So as you guys can see, we are in this upwards channel, right? Where we've gotten 3 touches on the top, confirming the top trend line, and we've gotten pretty much 4 touches on the bottom, 3 touches. This one didn't come all the way back down because we got held by the 20-week moving average, but 3 touches on the bottom, confirming this upwards channel for me. And we did just get a nice rejection to the downside here, which is perfectly normal, right? It's what we want to see. We don't want to, you know, if we go up too fast here, it could get a nice pullback. So it is nice to see we got a nice pullback here after getting rejected, about 28% pullback. Perfectly healthy when we get a massive move up from this breakout here. We get a massive move of 160% in a matter of 3 weeks. It is nice to see a little bit of a pullback so we don't get too ahead of ourselves. So that's the weekly, guys. Our 20-week moving average is all the way up at about 19 cents now, which is good to see. It's now above this consolidation area here. So if we did get a pullback, it probably would be coming down like this. 20-week moving average would probably be coming up like this. We would probably get a bounce off that, or we would get a bounce off the bottom of the channel here, which would coincide with the top of this support, kind of flipping old resistance as new support. So that's the 2 downwards targets if we continue in this channel. But it also is very possible that we could go up to the upside here, right? Just because we hit the top of the channel and we got rejected the last 2 times does not mean it has to happen again. So that's going to go on to our next chart, guys. And that is the 4 hour. So a lot going on right here. So I'm going to go through what each thing means. So we obviously have our red resistance line, which is the same resistance line of our upwards channel on the weekly. That's what that red line is there. And we also, so we're consolidating right under that red line on the 4 hour. We also are kind of in this rising wedge where we got one little fake out up here, but other than that, we keep getting rejected off the top of that this upwards yellow line, and we also have our downward support, which is, you know, we're wicking down to it with insane buy pressure every time. You guys can see these massive wicks here showing massive buy pressure at the bottom of this rising wedge. Can't say the same for the top, right? Sellers are getting exhausted, in my opinion, and buyers are just scooping up these dips, as you can see by these crazy wicks on the bottom. We also have a little bit shorter time frame we're going to look at in the hourly chart in a little bit. We also have this downwards sloping blue line here, which we've gotten rejected at 4 times, as you guys can see shortly, right? And then we have the 200 4-hour EMA, which I think is very, very important to kind of support and resistances in a bull market. We kind of tend to hover around this and get support and resistance on it. So it's good to see that that is up towards 27 cents now, which this is going to keep rising as long as we're pretty above it, right? And eventually maybe we can come back down and hit that support and then continue up here. But nonetheless, that is it. So let's jump on into what I want to talk about in this chart. So right now we're right in the middle of this rising wedge, getting held down by this blue support. So it is possible we can come back down, but it looks like we are getting a green candle here in the short term, right? So, you know, what is going to happen? Well, you guys can see down here, we had this bearish divergence, right? If you guys look at this, we got higher highs in price action, right? But lower highs in the on the RSI, which is a regular bearish divergence, right? So that pushed us down. You guys can see from this top, right? We got higher price action, lower on the RSI, which ended up pushing us down to the bottom of this wedge. But right now, right, from our last swing low to this swing low, right, we got higher highs in price action, but lower highs on the RSI, which is actually hidden bullish divergence, as you guys can see right here. So that is pushing us up here. Now, will that continue to push us up? Well, we're going to wait for our next edge here to see if we can get any type of divergences playing out in the short term. But you guys can see the RSI is kind of making this falling wedge while the price action is making a rising wedge. Could be some type of bearish divergence there, but nonetheless, we are getting our last indicator was a hidden bullish divergence, which did get us a push up to the upside, which is nice to see. We got to wait for this kind of shorter term triangle to play out here to see whether we break up to the upside on this wedge or to the downside. It's kind of up in the air right now. We can take a quick look at our measured moves here, just so you guys can get a quick look at where we would go if we did move up to the upside. So from our swing top to our straight down to our bottom here, and we take it from our breakout point. Let's say we break out, somewhere around here, right? So that's going to put our top target at about 54 cents on this breakout. If we break up to the upside, I think we go much higher than that because we would be breaking this long-term rising channel. If we did break out to the downside, let's say we break from, we can't break this resistance, so we break out to the downside somewhere around here. That would bring our measured move down to about 17 cents, which has come confluence with kind of being right at the top of this old resistance. So maybe we're doing a support and resistance slip there. Definitely possible. We've already actually came back down and tested that level, so it's not 100%. We have to come back down and retest it because we already did right here, as you can see. But that is definitely possible on the downside as well. So that's the short-term time frame, guys. Now I'm going to look at the really short-term time frame. This is the hourly. So this yellow line is the same as this blue line on the 4 hour. Just zoomed in on the hourly chart. And you guys can see we just keep getting held down by this yellow line here. We got once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. You could actually kind of snug this down a little bit, but you guys can get the point there. But as you guys can see, we are possibly forming this upside down head and shoulders pattern, right? You guys can see we did have a drop of about 28%, but we are getting this nice indicator here, which is typically a bullish reversal pattern, right? You guys can see we got our left shoulder here. We got our head, right, going all the way back down here to 28 cents. And now if this continues to round out here and we can break this neckline here, which is a downward sloping neckline, this would confirm this inverse head and shoulders to me. And we would, this measured move would be from the bottom to the neckline. Let's say the neckline is here on the breakout. Measured move would bring us all the way up towards about 42 cents, right? So 42 cents on the measured move to the upside if this breaks out on the hourly chart. Like I said, guys, this is super short time frame, so a lot of the times these short-term time frame patterns don't actually play out, but I did want to bring it to you just so you guys can see what I'm seeing on the super short time frame. That could end up breaking up this out of this downward trend, maybe come up and retest the top of the wedge and the long-term resistance line, and then we come back down, right? So that's what I'm seeing on the short-term time frame, guys. It doesn't mean we have to blast off super high. It just means that we could, come up and retest the top of this wedge for sure. So that's the video on our Cardano today, guys. Like I said, just the first video today. I will be coming out with a second video in a little bit, so make sure you guys are watching out for that. And if you guys are new to the channel and you guys enjoyed today's video on Cardano, make sure you guys smack that subscribe button down below. I'm going to know if you guys did. I'm going to know. I'm just kidding, guys. But I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. It is a beautiful Saturday up here in New England, which can't be said that many times in January. So I'll see you guys in later's video.